First, I want to congratulate Cambridge and MISIS on 10 years of successful collaboration in the Cambridge MISIS project. It has actually got a brand and a brand name, Touchstone at MISIS.
Touchstone at MISIS turned out to be a lot more than just an English teaching program for bachelor degree engineers with placement tests, trajectories, platforms, blended learning, project work. Touchstone at MISIS has evolved into an internal ecosystem with environment that promotes learning as a life skill, teachers who advocate for academic integrity, and students who are trying to figure out how their experience and the one that we offer to them fit together. Touchstone at MISIS is mostly built of people who believe the impossible is possible. Real life happens here, that's for sure.
There was a wish, there was a desire, there was a vision. And so we can say that was the beginning of the project, when a group of people develops a vision and develops a wish and it starts looking for resources to implement it. It was decided that the program will be based on blended learning, definitely, that the program and all its components will be related to international exam systems, and that we would use a level approach to plan and to assess students' results, and we would need to invest a lot into teacher training and staff development of the program. And another important thing is, also less important thing, is that there were enthusiasts at the department. There were teachers who really wanted to try out some new things and who were very supportive of the innovation. And I think that altogether all these factors, made it possible. Not only possible, but made it this program very successful internationally.
We had an ambitious but very clear goal to ensure a new level of teaching that would make it possible for every bachelor student of MISIS to achieve level B2 and above upon graduation. Our partnership with Cambridge University Press allowed us to introduce our students to the blended learning model, which made their self-studies much more efficient and allowed most of our students to achieve much more with their time on the program. Besides, our students gain important academic language skills, which allow them to pursue their careers globally.
Professional development for us English teachers lies beyond career prospects. I remember myself at the beginning of my career at NUST MISIS having no international certifications. And look at me now, TKT, CELTA, Delta, and a position of an expert on international exam teaching at our department. Our trips to Cambridge that we used to have helped me realize that the community of teachers is not restricted to neither countries nor institutions. In the training sessions on the green laws in Cambridge, I felt a part of something that went beyond my home teaching experience. Meeting famously known researchers and practitioners like Jim Scrivener and Adrian Underhill showed what it takes to be on top of the game and, most importantly, in love with what we do. And I am.
We demonstrate our internationalization by our English language program. This collaboration has existed for more than 10 years with the University of Cambridge Press, and it is the flagship program of English language learning throughout the entire Russian Federation, and indeed one of the very best programs throughout the world. Our collaboration with the Cambridge University Press has enhanced our internationalization because it's been mutually beneficial. It's been a long-term, mutually beneficial collaboration, as I mentioned at the outset, now over 11 years. Third and finally, we often talk about the combination of soft skills and hard skills that hard skills are core disciplines and soft skills, that they are sort of secondary, almost as a matter of fact. But indeed, in my opinion, the soft skills are most important because they're enduring, they're eternal, they last forever. Knowledge comes and goes, and one has to learn to adjust to a changing environment, to learn throughout one's entire lifetime. But if one has good communicative skills, especially in English now, that English is the language of commerce, of diplomacy, of business, of science and technology. And if one has great communication skills in both written and oral English, as evident by our program in English language learning, then one has a promising career either in Russia or abroad.
Been part of this project for at least the past 5 years. When MISIS approached Cambridge office in Russia, I was then head of the representative office of Cambridge University Press in Russia, and they were looking for ways to innovate their English language program. Around that time, Cambridge launched an international product, Touchstone Blended Learning course on the learning management system, and we were looking for partner universities around the world. And MISIS became our first in Russia and one of the first in the world partners in trialing and using this new innovative course. I was actually involved in negotiations and discussions and in needs analysis at MISIS, in the process of looking at the MISIS program and where they wanted to be, and doing as much as we could to get them there. I was connecting the Cambridge team, the Cambridge Moscow office team, and the MISIS team in working on various stages of the launching process and the implementation of the course. There were a lot of teacher training events, and I was inviting teacher trainers and experts from Cambridge, and we were arranging conferences together and training sessions together at MISIS and also sometimes in Cambridge. It was great when the Cambridge team could be able to meet the MISIS team in Cambridge when they came there for training. A very memorable event, which was probably the last event that I participated in, was a conference when the authors of Touchstone came, Mike McCarthy and Jean McCartan, and they were keynote speakers at the conference, and they could also see Touchstone Blended Learning in action. That was really, really wonderful.
The highlights of working with the MISIS team. Well, for me, I think what I enjoyed most was the enthusiasm and also the sharp minds of the teachers and also the students on the MISIS program.
At the time, MISIS had already adopted Touchstone Blended Learning, and they were really pioneers of blended learning. That's learning English with a combination of face-to-face and self-study, digital. So now, of course, we see this happening all over the world, but at the time it was quite new, and we were able to learn a huge amount from the experience of that MISIS was going through at the time. Another highlight was spending time with the delegation of MISIS students who came to Cambridge for a month to study at the University Language Centre. We actually videoed one of the classes and one of the lessons that they had, and we included that in our academic English course. So students all over the world using that course will also be watching the MISIS students learning business English, I think it was at the time.
It's been great to work with the MISIS team over the years. A consistent presence and some great working relationships have been developed. The Cambridge MISIS partnership has been a great model of the better learning cycle, because the close relations that we have built with the teaching and management team at MISIS have allowed us to gather important insights into the way that materials are used and to get very relevant feedback from teachers and learners, which can help us to shape the content and the pedagogical methods of our courses.
Yeah, I think that really what's been great and continues to be great about this collaboration is that opportunity for two really fantastic institutions to work together, and then on a personal, individual level to work together with great people who have great knowledge and insight, and for a really important goal, which is to help learners to achieve the best that they can. And like Cambridge has always been a bit of a front runner and a leader in the use of digital for ELT, for English language teaching. And MISIS similarly has always been at the forefront of these digital initiatives going back many years. And therefore this collaboration in this area is likely to continue, I would hope, and be very central to not just the future but the present.
And most recently then I attended the Times Higher Educational Summit that was hosted by MISIS in Moscow, together with my colleague from the Language Centre, Dr. Christoph Zena, and indeed this year took part in a discussion at MISIS on transnational education. So despite we're kind of celebrating just over 10 years of our relationship with MISIS, it's wonderful that this relationship is still ongoing, and that we're regularly keeping contact with colleagues and indeed friends we've made at MISIS since 2010. And in particular with the colleagues from MISIS in the English department. It's been a privilege then really to witness the paradigm shifting work that then Lilia Bondareva and Elena Frumina have achieved in the English department at MISIS. I can remember when we first went in 2010 and sat in several of the courses that were being offered then in the English department at MISIS, and the courses and the exams that were being prepared for. And just within a matter of a couple of years, just how that had been completely revolutionised, and the way in which then everything was being delivered. Essentially the passion and the determination amongst the teaching staff in the English department as well was just an absolute privilege to see. And I can certainly say that over the 10 years of our relationship with MISIS, then I have learned a phenomenal amount from then my colleagues at MISIS and indeed the students at MISIS. Things that have helped shape what I do here at the University of Cambridge, and have shaped my own teaching and approach to work as well. So it's a wonderful opportunity.
That it was an institution where academic managers and teachers were keen to explore innovation and new ideas associated with English language teaching. What I like about this kind of project is it takes insights or innovations, and it doesn't just stop there. It's handed over to a group of teachers. So once again, not just one teacher who's trying out a new idea, but a group of teachers. So that means that when they have tried it, they can compare and contrast their experiences. And this gives, to my mind, real depth to the practical expertise. And I think that this link between theory, innovation and practice is going to be of benefit.
As part of its learning programmes, MISIS provides English language training in order to prepare engineering students to communicate internationally in English. So there's a very strong connection between the teaching that MISIS provides for students and my work with Cambridge as a materials writer.
Certainly, I think that clearly they help the particular institution involved, the university involved. Cambridge is bringing its experience and MISIS has its own knowledge and experience of its context. And that combination is really powerful. So I've certainly used the experience of working with MISIS when I've been trying to help and support universities in Mexico, in Turkey and in Ecuador. This combination of working on your own and working collaboratively and making that fit together effectively. So that's what MISIS has been doing, and that is clearly going to be the future for learning.
Touchstone at MISIS can be seen as an ideal model of cooperation where the international product has been adapted to local needs. Actually, it's not just a course, it's everything that goes with it. It's a program around it, adding materials to it and trialing it and then changing things. So it's like a living organism.